Today's Steelers Talk video is sponsored by Glasses USA. If you're looking to get a new pair of glasses like the ones I have on, or possibly some sunglasses for this summer, you can use the exclusive promo link down in the description of today's video. And welcome in to Steelers Talk, Yinzers. My name is Jack Sperry, and today I have 4 potential trade targets for your Pittsburgh Steelers after June 1st. June 1st is a very significant day in the NFL offseason because a lot of teams start cutting players. It's a very significant time that trades start happening. So I wanted to give an updated list of trade targets here for four players that I think the Steelers could be interested in completing their 90-man roster. But first here, I'll have a little bit of news to share with you guys, which is that we won the month of May in the sub-battle for the AFC North. Yesterday, we were trailing the Cleveland Browns report by just a couple of subscribers. We added about 50 yesterday, and we overtook them at the buzzer. Congratulations to you guys. And if you want to stick it to Matthew Peterson and the Browns report for winning this month's sub-battle, go ahead and type F the Browns down there in the comments section. Once again, Steelers Talk comes up on top here in the AFC North. Now, before I get things going here, I want to put out a little bit of a disclaimer here that I have 4 names on today's list, but I am not suggesting that the Steelers necessarily have to trade for any of these players. I think the Steelers roster is pretty good where it's at right now, but if they wanted to make another move here, make another splash to put the cherry on top of Omar Khan's excellent 2023 offseason, these are 4 names that they could consider. Number 1 on my list, and I think this is by far the most likely option for the Steelers this offseason, Isaiah Simmons, inside linebacker, former top 10 pick out of the University of Clemson, currently with the Arizona Cardinals, and he is a versatile chess piece that Mike Tomlin would love to have in the middle of his defense. He loves those kind of chess piece kinds of players like Patrick Peterson, who's going to be playing more of like a safety hybrid role this year. Of course, he moves Minkah Fitzpatrick around. Having another guy like Isaiah Simmons that could play edge, he can play inside linebacker, he can play even safety or slot cornerback. This guy is a very versatile player, and he really started to come into his own last year with 99 tackles and 5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and 2 interceptions. So he started to show some of that promise that so many people saw when he was coming out of the University of Clemson. And I really do think that Isaiah Simmons would be a good fit with the Pittsburgh Steelers defense and compete with Cole Holcomb and Landon Roberts and Mark Robinson for a starting position. And he's somebody that Mike Tomlin can move around in this defense. So what would you be willing to give up for Isaiah Simmons? Yesterday on the Steelers Talk live show, Chugs and I talked about this because it seems like there's a couple of different opinions on how much are you willing to give up for a guy like Isaiah Simmons, someone that's been kind of disappointing so far in his career, but is on the up and up, and somebody that's a good versatile piece on defense. So yesterday I put out a poll saying, what would you guys give up? So 16% said they would give up a day 2 pick, so round 2 or 3, and then 60%, so the majority here would give up an early day 3 pick, so a round 5 or round 4 or 5 pick there, and then another 16% said a late day 3 pick, so round 6 or 7, and then 8% of you said you don't want him at all. So it seems like rounds 4 or 5 is about the right compensation here when it comes to you guys, and I really do think this could be the last piece that Omar Khan needs to complete this Steelers defensive roster. With or without Isaiah Simmons, this defense is going to be really, really good. You got TJ Watt, you got Minkah Fitzpatrick, you got Patrick Peterson, you have those star talents, but adding a guy like Isaiah Simmons that can really be moved all over the defense would be a great, great fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers and what Mike Tomlin loves to do with all those disguised coverages that he likes to run in his defensive scheme. Right now, you got Cole Holcomb and Landon Roberts as your presumed starters, but you also have Mark Robinson waiting in the wings, and he's really been playing well. He picked off Kenny Pickett for a pick 6 in OTA practice the other day. He has really been showing out, but if 2 of these guys get hurt, I don't really trust Tanner Muse or Russell to come in and play in an NFL game. I would totally trust Isaiah Simmons to come in here and do a great job playing that off-ball linebacker position. I think the Steelers could definitely use another inside linebacker to kind of give them a little bit more depth here, kind of as a safety blanket against the injury bug. I think that would be very, very good. So coming up here, I'm going to be revealing my other 3 trade targets for your Pittsburgh Steelers. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor at GlassesUSA.com. Quick question for you Steelers fans. Have you noticed my new glasses? GlassesUSA.com has hooked me up with a brand new pair of Revel Orson blue light glasses to help me in front of my computer screen all day long. Using blue light glasses during screen time helps reduce eye strain, decrease headaches, improve your sleep, and even increase your productivity. If you didn't already know, GlassesUSA.com is one of the biggest eyewear retailers in the United States, offering thousands of eyeglasses and sunglasses from places like Ray-Ban, Gucci, Oakley, and more. What's best about GlassesUSA.com is that glasses start at just $39, which is up to 70% off retail prices. If you love these frames, there's a crazy exclusive offer waiting for my followers by clicking the links in the description box below. They've also got a super helpful AR virtual try-on tool to help you find your right frames. Also, shopping online at GlassesUSA.com is a risk-free shopping experience with free shipping and returns and 100% money-back guarantee within the first 14 days. Want some sunglasses too? I also got these Otado Roland sunglasses from GlassesUSA.com. I'm going to be rocking these during Steelers game days this year. You can too as well. Get the exclusive discount only available to Steelers Talk viewers by clicking on the links in the comments and description box. It's only available for the next 24 hours, so take advantage of it. Once again, thank you to GlassesUSA.com for sponsoring today's video. So the second name on my list here of Steelers trade targets is another former top 10 pick in the NFL draft, Devin White. Now, a big name here, former Super Bowl champion back there in the 2020 season, somebody that gets a really big stats, right? You look at last season alone, 124 tackles and 5.5 sacks. You know, the numbers do stick out at you if when it comes to Devin White, because he's somebody that does have a lot of production, and a lot of people think that he's a really good inside linebacker, and there's some rumors floating around that he could be demanding a trade out of Tampa Bay right now. So there's some people that think that the Steelers should go out and get a Devin White, the former top 5 pick in the NFL draft out of LSU. But I really don't want this to happen personally, okay? I have watched Devin White's film, and I have seen the way that he plays the game, and a lot of those tackles that he gets funneled to him just based on what the offense is running and those types of things. Sometimes tackle numbers, especially for inside linebackers, they can get inflated big time. Now, he's a pretty decent tackler, but in coverage, he is absolutely brutal, in my opinion. And because of that, he's extremely, extremely overrated. He's a great athlete. You know, he's a team captain. You know, he's great in the locker room. He's got some good qualities, don't get me wrong. But for the amount of money that he wants to be making, he wants to be the top paid inside linebacker in the National Football League. You need to be better in coverage than he is, and that deficiency in his part in that part of his game is really lowering his grade when it comes to Pro Football Focus grading, which he has never graded well in. You take a look at his numbers over his career. Last year, 43.7 PFF grade, which was good for the 74th highest in the league, which is absolutely ridiculous. And he got 35.1 just the year previous, and he got 48.1 in 2020. And then his best season when it comes to Pro Football Focus grading was his rookie season back in 2019. So this is not somebody that is worth the amount of money that he wants, in my opinion. And also, I think the Buccaneers' asking price is going to be way too high. They like Devin White. They want him on the roster. So to get him off their team, I think it's going to take either like a first or a second round pick. I don't think anyone is going to be willing to give him that. Now, White would also want a massive new contract. He has said he wants to be the highest paid inside linebacker in the NFL, and the Steelers just can't afford that. Alex Highsmith extension is coming up. You're already paying TJ Watt a record number of money. Minkah Fitzpatrick is making a ton as well. You just can't afford Devin White at this point in time. And like I said, I think he's one of the most overrated players in the National Football League because he's not a good coverage linebacker. He's a solid tackler. He's a good leader. He's a good athlete. All these different things, you know, there's positive aspects to his game, but is he worth the amount of capital that the Steelers are going to have to invest in him? I absolutely do not think so. I say no way the Steelers should trade for Devin White. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Would you trade for inside linebacker Devin White this year? Type yes or type no in the comment section. Can't wait to see how you feel about the inside linebacker from Tampa Bay. All right, so now let's get into the next trade target that I have for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is one that a lot of people have already thrown out before, and that is former All-Pro safety Budda Baker with the Arizona Cardinals. He is an absolutely fantastic player, man. One of my favorite players in the National Football League. He plays with the kind of instincts that are incredibly rare that you just can't teach. And because of that, he can play free safety. He can play strong safety. He's one of the best run defense safeties in the National Football League. He's played a lot of strong safety for the Cardinals in his time, despite being a little bit undersized, which is really, really impressive. And, you know, although the asking price might be a little bit heavier than some of these other guys like Isaiah Simmons, it might be worth it for Pittsburgh because adding Baker to your secondary next to the best free safety in the league in Minkah Fitzpatrick would absolutely make this secondary legit. One of the best in the National Football League, in my opinion. And Baker can come in, and you can see, man, you can just see by the numbers here, the all-pro caliber talent that he would be bringing to the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 interceptions back in 2022, 111 tackles last season. Really, really good numbers there. He's usually over 100 tackles as a safety, which is really impressive. 147 tackles back in 2019. He is a special player, and if you can add him to this safety room next to Minkah Fitzpatrick, Fitzpatrick would be the true free safety, in my opinion, and then Budda Baker would come in to play the true strong safety, the box safety, and they'd kind of move him around, all these different things. I like Damontae Kazee a lot. I think that the Steelers absolutely don't have to make this move by any means. You got Keanu Neal to play that Terrell Edmonds type of role, the linebacker safety type hybrid in their 3 safety package that they like to run. So you don't need to make this move. But man, if Omar Khan wants to put the ultimate cherry on top of this 2023 offseason, going out and getting an all-pro caliber guy like Budda Baker and giving him a new contract would absolutely be a fantastic move. If it happens, we'll definitely be going live here on Steelers Talk. But now the big question is, what is Arizona looking for a trade with Budda Baker? Because they like Baker a lot. So like I've said with Tampa Bay, they're going to want a lot for him, and I think it's probably going to take at least a second-round pick in order to pry him away from the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Cardinals want to keep him, but they also know that they're in full rebuild mode right now, and if the Steelers offer them a second-round pick for Budda Baker, I think that's an offer that they might not be able to refuse, and Omar Khan might be able to get something done here. But let me know what you guys think of this potential trade offer here. Would you make this trade for Budda Baker, a second-round pick? Type A for accept or type D for decline. You are the GM here. You make the decision. Would you trade a second-rounder for Budda Baker? All right, so now for me, I would personally this is a tough one. I would not make this deal, okay? I think a second-round pick is an incredibly valuable draft pick, okay? You usually get somebody a first-round grade on your board in the second round, so that's not something I'm really willing to do, even for a guy like Budda Baker, okay? Because I think even without Baker on this team, this defense is going to be elite, one of the best in the National Football League. You got T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, one of the best pass rushing duos in the league with Cam Hayward in the middle there. You got Minkah Fitzpatrick, the best safety in the National Football League, at least in my opinion, manning center field. You got Patrick Peterson, Joey Porter Jr. At corner. I think that this defense is going to be nasty regardless, and I want to keep that draft capital if I'm GM Omar Khan. Then if they don't want to go for Budda Baker, they want to go for maybe a Kevin Byard, they could absolutely do that as well if you want to get a safety, but the price for Baker is a little bit too high because of the name. Byard is definitely a good option for the Steelers as well. Now, he doesn't have as much experience in the box as a box safety as Budda does. Kevin is more known as a free safety, so it'd be kind of weird having both Byard and Fitzpatrick on the same team because they're both true free safeties. But man, Byard has been one of the most productive players in this league for a very long time. Last year was the 8th highest safety in the National Football League with 108 tackles and 4 interceptions. This guy is a playmaker. 5 interceptions back in 2021. He consistently delivers. He's always on the field. He's very dependable when it comes to the health department as well. He is somebody that is apparently on the trade market, and he still has 2 years left on his deal. Now, his base salary is at $13.6 million, so that's quite a pretty penny there. If the Steelers want to make this move, it would take up almost all of their current cap space, which right now currently sits at $15.72 million, according to Over the Cap. Now, that's not adjusting for Marcus Golden's new contract that hasn't been released yet, so it's a little bit lower than 15.2. But, going into the next couple years with Kevin Byard on your team alongside Minkah Fitzpatrick, if the Steelers want to play a lot of 2 high safety coverages, I think that would work a lot. You still have Keanu Neal that can play that true box safety role on your team. I don't think the Steelers would end up making this move personally because I think that they like Damontae Kazee and they kind of plan on using Fitzpatrick next to Kazee this year in the secondary. But hey, I would totally be on board with a move like this because it only makes this Steelers defense more dangerous. All right, now get into the comment section. I've given you 4 names here, and let me know in the comment section. Which guy would you like to add to the Steelers roster? They only have 1 roster spot left to fill. Which guy are you trading for to fill that spot? Type IS for Isaiah Simmons, type BB for Budda Baker, DW for Devin White, or KB for Kevin Byard. Personally, if I am Steelers GM Omar Khan, I am calling the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm seeing what the availability is for Isaiah Simmons. I would give up probably a 6th or maybe even a 5th round pick to get him on the team because he's a versatile chess piece that Mike Tomlin could really use, and frankly, the defense could really use some inside linebacker depth. I don't want to pay too much for a guy like a Budda Baker or Kevin Byard. I want to get a nice, prudent decision here by adding Isaiah Simmons to this roster. If you made it this far into the video, guys, let me tell you, we're doing something right. So you might as well subscribe to the video. Go ahead, click that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, all that good stuff. And then also another big thank you to GlassesUSA.com for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you click the link in the description for our exclusive promo offer only for the next 24 hours.